asking yourself, be honest. Remember, only with honesty can you grow. What I do, because sometimes we're not even conscious of what we do. It's hardwired. It's our ego defending the sensitivity, our own dark side. So we're refusing to acknowledge we are responsible for something. If you can't take responsibility for what you've done, then you're just going to repeat it.
Most people don't stop and ask, what did I do to create that reaction in somebody else? Most of us just get right into it, blaming, screaming, making out somebody wrong that made us wrong. And it takes what I would call an evolved human, a big human, somebody who's willing to say, is there something in myself that brought out that reaction? How could I have worded my request differently? How could I have delivered my communication in a more peaceful way? Now, of course, you have to be careful because some of us are blamers. We blame ourselves for everything, and you can't always make somebody treat you well, but you can feel good about your own level and style of communication. And every time we adjust, every time we grow, when we learn that, oh, I could have said, I'm sorry, or please forgive me, or excuse me, and that might have had somebody respond to me in a more loving way, then all of a sudden we see people around us start to alter.
I think it's very difficult for most of us to stop and reflect even for a moment before we just react. And if we're a jet pilot or in some other emergency situation, reaction time is very important. And we need to be trained to act like that in the moment with total precision and effectiveness. But for most of us, we could afford to be a little more mindful or attentive and reflective and think before we act. But most of us are not trained in this. We don't really have the inner discipline, the mental chops to be able to manage ourselves or manage our emotions that way. And I'm not saying be a control freak. We can still be spontaneous, but to be a little bit more in control of our unbridled emotions.
Now, I want to talk about something that's crucial to understanding happiness. Happiness has to be understood by measuring the strengths and weaknesses of our positive side and our negative side. There's an old Native American concept that within each and every one of us, there's two dynamic life forces. They call them the great wolves, the white wolf and the dark wolf. The dark wolf represents greed, insecurity, avarice, anger, rage, violence, connivingness, manipulation, all the qualities that we do not like. And then the white wolf, the dynamic wolf, is sensitivity, unconditional love, empathy, compassion, service, humility. Those two things every human being has.